Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity. Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity.
Hey there, it's Reba and welcome to today's video. Today I am starting another round of Trash or Try. If you don't know, this is a video series where I do an unhaul and I have books that I'm definitely getting rid of and then books that I'm maybe getting rid of, but I'm not sure. The Trash or Try video that you are watching now is the second part of the series where I go through some of the maybe books. Well, I go through all of the maybe books and I decide definitively if they are a keep or I need to get rid of it. And basically that just means that I'm going to do some research to decide definitively about the book. I'm going to do some recapping on books that I've read that I'm not sure I would ever want to reread or continue with the series. First, I'm just going to do a quick rundown on what books I have. The books that I have for this round are an interesting mixture of mostly sci-fi and historical Regency-ish or Western-y-ish, but not like westerns, like women's westerns. Does that make sense? There's like a whole separate category. There's two fantasies. That is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, words. And then the Bartimaeus Trilogy Book 1, which is The Amulet to End the Samarkand by Jonathan Stroud. Sci-fis, we have Black Widow Forever Read by Margaret Stoll. The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. A God in Ruins by Kate Atkinson, which is actually, I'm getting confused. I think it actually might be a second book. So I'm a little confused about this one. So we'll figure that out together. And then I did read this one. This would be, I also read Children of Blood and Bone. The other ones are not read. But The Fifth Wife I did read. And then I have The Infinite Sea, both by Rick Yancey. This one I did not read. I have one contemporary, which is Suicide Notes by Michael Thomas Ford. I did read this one. It was kind of a weird experience for me. So I have three of those other ones that I was talking about. This one, Love Finds You in Calico, California by Elizabeth Ludwig. Apparently I read this, but I don't remember anything. I literally only had 2 tabs in it, so I have no idea. I don't remember anything about it. So, we'll figure that out. But I rated it like 4 stars, so that one might need to be a full-on reread. I don't know. Then we have The Treasure of the Celtic Triangle by Michael Phillips. I've had this forever. I've not picked it up at any point, so I need to decide definitively if I'm actually going to read it or if it's going to sit there forever. And then we also have A Bride's Dilemma in Friendship, Tennessee by Diana Leshire Brandmeier. That's a lot for a name. Okay, but this one I need to decide definitively. The synopsis doesn't really capture me, but the fact that it's set in Tennessee is pretty cool. So... those are the books that I'm looking at. A God in Ruins. I believe this actually ties into Life After Life, which I believe was already on my TBR. So I'm gonna check and see if that is true and if they are interconnected. If they are, then I will of course get and read Life After Life first and then decide if I want to continue with it. So that's what I'm going to start with, is checking Goodreads to see if they're like a series or companions or separate completely. I don't know. So pulling it up on Goodreads is definitely telling me it is a series because it says Todd Family number 2. So Life After Life is the first book in the series. Which is one that I was interested in and is on my want to read list. So, but I do believe the first book was shorter than this one. No, it is long. It's like a 500-pager. Okay, so let me see. Okay. Well, Cal rated the first book high, but let's look at the second book. Oh, I clicked the author's name instead of the book name. Whoops. Whoopsie. Oh, is it a duology? Is it just a duology? Looks like it's a duology. because there's only 2 books. Okay, Cal rated both high, one a 5-star and one a 4-star, and I trust Cal's judgment, and I already had the first book on my TBR, so I'm gonna keep this one. Start working on this bad boy, which is The Treasure of the Celtic Triangle. So first, let's read the synopsis together, and then we'll talk about my plan. Quest for the truth leads home. Having accepted his uncle's dying request to restore the missing heir to the Westbrook estate, young Scotsman Percy Drummond begins an unforgettable journey. But as his search leads him to Ireland, circumstances in Wales threaten the future. Percy's engagement to beautiful Florian Westbrook hangs in the balance when Florian fears they are moving forward too quickly. Childhood friend Gwyneth Barry disappears unexpectedly, and Percy begins to feel in his heart pulled toward the mystifying glass. Meanwhile, cousin Courtney Westbrook devises a scheme destined to rip the family and estate apart once he inherits his late father's title. As Percy's quest continues down many circuitous paths, the key to the mystery seems forever to elude him unless he can discover the greatest treasure that was within his sight all along. Will he find the true reward before it fades into the misty Celtic past? ? So, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I'm going to, I think, try to read some. The first chapter is not very long. It goes from page 11 to page 18. So I'm going to read chapter 1 and then let you know how it's going. Okay, well that didn't take long. I got a page and a half in, and I peeked at the back, and Mr. Phillips has written like 60 novels, so he's definitely not using a writing style that doesn't suit him. But it's not suiting me. And not in the fact that it's like, I don't think this would be necessarily a bad book or anything, but it's a little flowery in the fact that he uses a lot of adjectives. Like, I mean, the first paragraph, the first line is all about a clock. And let me read it to you. A clock of ancient date overlooking a stone-paved stable yard, originally rimmed with gold, fitted with brass ornamentation and shiny black hands, all now tarnished with the passage of not merely its circling minutes and hours, but of centuries, had just struck the hour of 1 o'clock. So that's a lot, I feel like, just to tell us what time it was, when I'm pretty sure the time probably won't matter that much. Doesn't fit what I would look for in a book that is about something that is a little bit more angsty and dramatic feeling. So the subject and the writing style don't match for what I would want as a combination. If I was to read a book that is about this kind of thing, I would want the writing style to fit that angsty vibe. I feel like somebody else would appreciate this more. If I haven't picked this up yet, I don't think I'm going to be drawn towards it. At this point, if I'm not immediately captivated by the writing style, it would take me a while to get far enough into it to be invested. The next book I'm going to work on is Black Widow Forever Read. So the thing about this one is, while I love Black Widow a lot, I really want to research and discover if these are worth picking up or if I should just stick with the comics and movies. Like, is it worth picking up novelizations of their stories or no? Okay, so just off of what I'm seeing on the internet at the moment, I'm not convinced that I want to keep this. It is a duology and it says it's more comics based than movies based, but I still don't know how much I think I want to read these. So I think I'm going to ask my Marvel people about this one as well. Okay, so I think I have decided that Black Widow Forever Red is going to go. Ours Rook came in on the chat on Discord and said that it probably depends on the writer. They tried the Guardians one and it was okay, nothing special. I just don't think that I'm interested enough in the idea of reading another person's iteration. Rather just read the source material and leave it at that. Now I'm going to spend some time working on Suicide Dice by Michael Thomas Ford. I'm going to look at some reviews on this because I do remember it pretty decently. And while I really loved some of the mental health representation, I also really don't like the way that it connected the mental health and the kind of identity issues. There were elements of this that were 5-star for me, and there were elements that were like 1 or 2-star for me. Okay, so I scanned through comments and I even looked at my own review, and I think I'm going to try to find a summary or Spark Notes type thing and refresh myself a little bit and decide from there. So looks like this one is another one that I'm going to need to reread to decide. So I'm going to put this one in the keep pile for now. Okay, it took a little bit more time to kind of flip through. I started sort of flipping through my annotations on this, and as I did, I kind of also skimmed through some of the text. And honestly, I don't think this is something I really want to reread, simply for the fact that the POV, and the writing style of that character, of the main character, is kind of like so I'm starting to lean towards maybe getting rid of this one. Okay, so I started to look at the things that I talked about when I read this, and just listening to myself talk about the synopsis, or not the synopsis, the list of things in some parts of it. I think I'm ready to just move on with this one. Although I might feel differently about it upon reread. I have so many other books that I want to read in my life, and I don't think that I want to reread this enough to warrant holding on to it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on. I'm putting it in the stack. Let's work on the Diabolic a little bit. I don't remember what this is about, so let's find out. Okay, so after listening to the synopsis, it sounds cool, and a lot of reviews look pretty high. Let's make sure the writing style catches me. Okay. Let's talk about Love Finds You in Calico, California. As I said, I previously read this, but I don't remember anything. It looks like I did annotate it. I used a few tabs and I used some dog urine. A spunky young seamstress weaves her own story in a world run by men. When news of a silver strike reaches her Virginia hometown, Abigail Watts packs up her needles and thread and follows her beloved father out west. But when she's suddenly left alone in the rough mining town of Calico, California, she finds herself pressed into a marriage of convenience with a local livery owner, Nathan Hawk. Determined to uncover the mystery surrounding her father's death in the mines, Abigail agrees to stay in Calico, but when the truth sets her free, will she decide to leave the town and Nathaniel for good? I don't know that I'm going to be able to find a summary for this one, and I didn't write a very in-depth review. I think I tried to look. I don't remember. Hang on. But I don't see a review or any notes because I'm rude to myself, apparently. I 5-starred this. So let's see if I can find a summary in the reviews. I can't find any kind of summary or anything. Okay, I'm gonna, I guess, read a little bit of the beginning and see if it's something that I would want to reread. I don't know what to do in this situation. Okay, I tried flipping through my annotations, and honestly, I didn't even really feel like I could pull enough information, but I am getting a little bit of information about the story. I just don't remember anything that happened in it. And so I think the only option that I have is to keep it and reread it. There's no way I'm going to just get rid of a book that I 5-starred and I don't remember why. Okay, I'm starting to think that maybe I'm going to go ahead and pass on Calico in California, because while I could reread it, I'm not like really excited about the premise of rereading it. I think I'm about to put it in the go away stack. I think I'm gonna do it. I need to be realistic about what I am and I'm not going to read or reread, and I just don't feel drawn to reread the story. I think it's a sign that I just need to let it go. I'm going to pull another one that I have read, and that is Children of Blood and Bone. I'm going to read a summary to refresh my memory on it and go from there. So I have decided that Children of Blood and Bone, I'm not going to continue with it. I tried starting to flip through and look at my annotations, but honestly, I've just heard that the sequel isn't that great and I don't have enough investment in it. I think a lot of the reason why I rated it 5 stars was really just because it was hyped. I want to say that I'm going to pick it back up, but I've had it on my shelf for a while. It's really long and it didn't overwhelm me from the beginning, but that's just this book. That's not the sequel, and I've heard that the sequel wasn't great and it took a long time for book 2 to be published, and then book 3 still hasn't even come out, and they're saying they're doing a movie, but they haven't even, you know, focused enough on, you know, finishing the series that I don't know how I feel about all that. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass this along to someone who wants to read it, wants to prep for the movie and all of that. While I appreciate it and I think it's good, I don't think that I want to focus on this when I have so many other things. Next, let's do the A Bride's Dilemma book, which I think I'm just going to try reading a little bit of it and seeing if I resonate with it. But basically, the synopsis is Heaven's stolen his heart. After witnessing the ravages of the Civil War, Travis Logan vowed to give up doctoring, but when fellow steamboat passenger Caleb Wharton collapses at his feet, Travis knows he must lend his aid. As the old man lies dying, he makes Travis promise to take care of his land and find heaven. Travis can't help but wonder what heaven has to do with a real place, so he heads to Caleb's farm to fulfill his promise. Weeks of facing murders and caring for her father's home have finally taken their toll on Heaven Wharton. When an unknown young man charges the house, Heaven attempts to fire a warning shot but ends up shooting the man instead. Shocked, she and her sister Angel drag a semi-conscious Travis into the house and nurse him back to health. So, meh plot-wise to me, but maybe The Bride is good enough that I will say yes. I'm intrigued enough to give this one a chance, at least. The writing seems alright. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one a shot. So I just went through and I looked at some reviews for this, and it actually turns out, based on one of these reviews, the younger sister of the female protagonist, is blind. I didn't realize that was what the issue was. Like, I knew that she had some sort of, but I didn't know what it was. She's blind. Now I want to read it. Like, they should have put that in the synopsis. That is a draw. That is a hook right there. Having a blind character in your book, that is something you do not see often enough. Characters who have disabilities, especially blindness and deafness. So I'm reading it, so that's a keep. Okay, so next up we have the Bartimaeus Trilogy Book 1. I'm going to take a look at Goodreads first. Okay, Margaret rated it 4 stars, but I don't really see anybody else that I know having read this. So I'm just going to test the writing a little bit and see what I think. Okay, so I started to kind of like go through the first little bit of this, but as I started to, I realized that as much as I love the hollow of the cover, and it's got the name Lovelace, I'm not obsessed with the idea of the story enough to really warrant picking it up and reading it. So I think that this one is going to also be a goodbye. I got it very, very cheap from Half Price Books, so I'm not like wasting money there or anything. I'm not like gravitating towards it. Out step 4, which the first thing I'm going to do is on the 5th wave. I read this, as I said, but I don't know. It's very popular, so it would be cool to do a first time reading for the series. But I did already read the first book and it was fine, but it wasn't anything special. So I think I'm gonna ask my Avengers people what they think. I read a summary of the 5th wave, and after completing the summary, I was like, okay, nah, I don't need to bother with this book. But looking back at Goodreads is not helping, because it was just, everybody rated it like 4 and 5 stars. And I looked at book 2 and it has a lot of high ratings as well, which makes me kind of want to do it again anyway. I think I've made a decision. I think that just flipping at the beginning and like looking at it again, I think that this could be an interesting thing to read again and see all this time later what I think. So I think I'm keeping the 5th wave into the Infinite Sea. I think it could be an interesting video. Let's do a final round out of all the books and which ones I'm keeping and which ones I am getting rid of. I am keeping okay, I'm pretty happy with this. I am keeping 5 books and getting rid of 6 books, which I'm pretty good with. And of those 5 books, all of them are first time reads. There's only one that will be a reread. And so, the books that I'm keeping are A God in Ruins, The Diabolic, The 5th Wave and the Infinite Sea, and A Bride's Dilemma in Friendship, Tennessee. So those will be going back on my shelves. The ones that I have decided to unhaul are Black Widow Forever Read, The Treasure of the Celtic Triangle, Love Finds You in Calico, California, Suicide Notes, The Amulet of Samarkand, and Children of Blood and Bone. Okay! I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to add these to my my section of books for my unhaul. So that's it. That's it for this video. Make sure that you stay tuned. I will definitely be doing the video for the 5th Wave books. I will be doing the video situation for that. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned to see more of that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell down below so that you can join the Bear Scouts and be notified every time I post a new video. I will see you guys again but most importantly, so that I can see you guys again very soon. I can't get my words out today for my outro. Peace out, Bear Scouts.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your stress. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life.